you were requested a supervisor, is there a limit to the waiting time? Or at that moment you're required to wait because you are being detained? To be candid, it's the moment of that could be disrespectful to an officer or a citizen, and it becomes heated, and someone may want to walk away, leave, you can't, someone grabs someone, next thing you know, it turns into an arrest situation. So my point, and I think that I want to get across, is that we understand our rights as citizens, that we're respecting your job, but we also understand that we're being respected in the parameters and rights we should have. But I think, again, by no means I think ever promote, hey, you know, call, you know, disrespect, you know, in the midst of asking for that. And even I wouldn't want, you know, even myself to call the supervisor right away if I can't just speak through it with you.
Right.
So that's where I'm just kind of, you know, going through the steps of what. So I do appreciate you guys kind of bringing clarity to that. So, but again, with the young, you know, man or kid who's stopped in front of his score and, you know, walking home for whatever reason, he should more than likely, should he ask? Should he just listen? What should a young man do when he's initially stopped? A young man or woman?
Right. Well, I think, again, it goes back to what we talked about initially. First thing we need to figure out is it a consensual stop or is it a detention? Okay. If it's consensual and you ask for a supervisor, then you still can leave at any time because you're not obligated to stay. However, if it's a detention, yes, you are obligated to stay because the officer had some type of reasonable suspicion or probable cause to detain you and to conduct an investigation or to arrest you. So specifically, if you get arrested for something and you ask to speak with a supervisor, eventually you're going to see a supervisor anyway because they have to alert a supervisor that they made an arrest, and then once you get back to the station, the watch commander is a supervisor, and they are required to come out and to interview you to make sure, see if you have any issues or concerns or any medical conditions or things of that nature. So at some point in a situation where if you are arrested, you will see a supervisor sooner than later because especially if you're going to go back to the station, that's the first thing they do before they can put you into a holding cell or anything. They have to take you to the watch commander, and the watch commander is going to come out and ask you, do you know why you're here? You know, do you have any medical issues or anything like that?
When you are, you know, if someone is unfortunately arrested or goes through, you know, an interaction with the police that, you know, they have to be detained or arrested, what type of rights do they have in the midst of that process and immediately after, of knowing their rights of like what they can request, the footage, or you have to wait? Where can you get these answers, kind of answers? Because that's probably where a lot of family members may even want to do the research for their sons or daughters or their cousins, you know.
So typically, I mean, if they have those questions at the time when the watch commander's asking them on check-in, do you have any questions for me? You can ask. And a lot of officers will be able to tell you that.
Many people won't. You know, a lot of confusion initially, but if they were like, where can I go the next day, few days, I just need to get some answers.
You can always go back to that station, though, and ask. And if you prefer to call, sometimes the front desk can be really busy because people do call in crime reports. But if you're going in and you're saying, hey, I just need questions asked, or to ask questions about X, Y, or Z, they'll be able to direct you to how you get things done, how you get a copy of the report. What does it mean on if you have the sheet from when you went to the jail? Is there any information on there that you don't understand? The jail can also explain that too. But then you also have, like we talked about, a lot of these things, it's not that people are getting arrested, it's that they're getting a citation, or it's that they're just being stopped and then warned about something. And so that's the same thing of, most times the officers honestly will answer you fully. When they're done with it and you can ask them, why was I stopped? They'll explain it to you.
Another avenue is if you feel like you weren't treated fairly, or if you just have questions sometimes and you don't feel comfortable going to the police department that just arrested you, is the Inspector General's office.
That's great.
The Inspector General's office is separate from the police department, so it's not in any police facility. And other than me, they're all civilians. So I'm kind of the liaison between the department and the office. So other than me, you'll talk to a civilian investigator or supervisor, and they can explain to you the circumstances or get your information and find out the information that you need.
Transitioning slightly, but we talk more so like pedestrian stops and interactions, but traffic stops. That's, you know, and the LA Sentinel, you know, published a story today. Unfortunately, there were some statistics that came out that the LAPD has been stopping African Americans at a higher rate. So in the midst of these stops, what are our rights? What should we do initially? What should we not do? Hands on the wheels, hearing from officers yourselves, what makes you comfortable, and what should we do? But to not make light of it. Traffic stops are unfortunately when many things can escalate, further. And it could be for a tail light, So, speaking to you guys, what should we do in a traffic stop situation?
For me, I was subject to traffic stops before I got in the job. I've been pulled over since I was on the job, and it doesn't change being an officer. I feel like I still follow the same protocols I had before I got on the job. I understand that people get stressed. Even as an officer, I still get stressed. When I drive on the freeway and see CHP, I immediately look down. Am I speeding?
I just want to say as a disclaimer to you all too, I do respect the fact that when you guys are walking up to any car, it could be anything could possibly happen. And I think that's important for the public to understand.
Yeah.
There's a risk factor.
But for me, I've always been the type of person where it's hands on the steering wheel, and I don't consider that it unreasonable, right? So I'm showing the officer from the start. I know as an officer when I walk up and the person has their hands on the steering wheel and they say hello to me and I say hello back and the interaction starts in a good place, that kind of sets the tone for me. I know as an officer it causes me to go, okay, well, this is just a traffic stop. The person seems normal, they seem respectful, and that's always what I encourage people, because I don't think that Jody and I are anomalies within the department where we're conversational, we want to explain what we're doing, we believe in the work that we're doing, and there's a reason for the things that we do. And it's not just the two of us, it's everybody that I've worked with, where if you have that kind of basis of let's just start at a respectful place with each other, then I'll happily go through. What are the things I observed you do? What are the things that are
What if it's not happy? Let's go to probably majority of the stops. You stop me. I'm just mad because you stopped me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to my appointment.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to tape with LAPD today, and I got stopped by LAPD. Y'all have no idea. This is terrible. So what happens now that they see sometimes you can't avoid
and
a
that's
rough
okay
day.
because
So I'm saying if you're not being treated as much as you'd like,
it's on me to make that better.
what should we do? So I'm saying outside of, I guess to be direct, to not make light of it, if it's a tense situation to begin with, my hands are on the steering wheel, I don't want to talk to you, what should I be doing, what should I not do, what do I have to say, what do I not? And I think that's what pedestrians want to understand, because many times when we're stopped, we're just like, what's going on?
At the minimum, it's just follow the directions that you're given. So if you're frustrated, I'm not telling you that you have to not be frustrated. You don't have to yes ma'am me. You don't need to ask how my day is. It is completely understandable that you're frustrated. At the very least, I've displaced you going to wherever you were going. You weren't driving around waiting for me to stop you. So at that point, if you don't want to have any further conversation, that's great. I'm going to tell you why I stopped you, and then ask for your ID and your insurance. Provide it. You're not obligated to.
Are you obligated to that? I think many people are. You obligated to give that if before you're told why you're stopped? Let's say you're pulled over.
There's not
what is there a pattern? Can you share with us? Let me ask specifically. What should we know should be happening when we're stopped? And that way, if it's not happening, maybe we should be like, okay, that's not.
In an ideal world, I'm going to introduce myself. I made the habit of telling people while I was stopped I stopped them ahead of time. That's my personal preference. It's not a requirement.
So what are the requirements that you all have to do when you stop us?
At some point, it has to be revealed why you were stopped. So I don't have to do it first. I know many motor officers that because their entire job is traffic stops, and they know that sometimes people want to argue at the window.
So ID and insurance can be. You
That's
guys
required.
can demand that before you
I
tell
tell
us.
you. Yes.
That's law.
So before you tell us.
Yes.
Yes.
See, that's what now I'm gonna have to say. I'm happy you shared that. That's where I think a lot of. See, I would have been after this interview like, hold on, no, they told me.
Yeah.
Brandon, I didn't tell you that. I thought you told me.
And so it was always my
This
personal practice, because I know that people want to know why they were stopped. But again, I've talked to other officers who go, hey, I do this all day, and I'll end up in an argument. And what they would do is then go check to make sure your ID is good, everything's great, and then they come back to the window and talk to you at that point, because they don't want to argue with you and have you not give ID. So as long as the officer tells you why you were stopped at some point during the stop, they've met their legal obligation. The order of events shifts by officer and their experience, and sometimes, again, demeanor.